Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So I actually wanted to do my review here for Tales of the Walking Dead episode 2. This is going to contain full spoilers for the episode, so I hope you're aware of that. This will definitely contain full spoilers for episode 2. I mean, I have some thoughts on this episode. I definitely have some thoughts on this episode, and we're going to talk about this one, and I'll kind of talk about episode 1 just in a sense of, like, you know, the weird vibe that I'm getting here from Tales of the Walking Dead, and we'll kind of, I'll talk about that a little bit here towards the end of this. So obviously be aware that this will contain spoilers for episode 2, and as well, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get more Walking Dead content like this. Now, episode 2 obviously features the characters Blair and Gina, and this was the one episode that I was really looking forward to. I mean, it was this one there, and there's the Jesse T. Usher episode, which is obviously in a couple weeks from now. This episode here, man, like, it started off so good, and I had so much fun watching this episode for the first, like, 20 minutes or so, something like that. Like, I didn't mind the Groundhog Day story. I really didn't mind that. Like, I just wanted there to be some sort of explanation, and I wanted to see where it was going to go. And if it was going to go somewhere eventually, like, was there an explanation for this? Was one of the characters seeing the future or something like that? But it did get to a point where I think it was a little frustrating, and I kind of was a little upset that, you know, with the Atlanta 2010 storyline, they used that for this basically. And, you know, the story, like I said, focused on Blair and Gina, and they're running this insurance company called the Circle of Trust. Blair is this, you know, she's more self-centered. Gina is, I guess, the receptionist who doesn't like her boss, who is Blair. At first, we see Blair sort of end up in this time loop, and then all of a sudden, right away, it was Gina. You know, she got brought into it, and then it just ended up being those two characters, and it was those two characters constantly. Like, they were just, like, constantly going through stuff, and honestly, it was fun. Like, I'll say, like, at first, it was a little fun, because I was like, oh, that's very weird. I wonder what's happening here. You know, there's going to be some logical explanation for this, and, like, you know, just where they're going to go eventually. Like, why is this making sense? Is one of the characters, you know, hallucinating? Are they seeing things? Are they dreaming of all of this? Like, what are they doing here? Like, there's got to be some sort of explanation. I really like the actresses. You know, I think both were definitely really, really amazing, and I think they actually, like, weirdly, I kind of preferred their performances over episode 1. You know, I think they were just really, it was a lot of fun to watch these characters. The setting in Atlanta 2010, you know, it was just, I really just liked the characters, and I liked the fact that they didn't really believe that this was all happening. They were like, well, people are just overreacting. The media is just hyping this up. You know, they just really didn't believe that anything was happening, and it was just really cool to see their actual reactions to whenever zombies would be biting people or whatever, right? It was just super cool, because it was something that I didn't realize that I missed in this universe, you know, seeing the fresh walkers and just seeing their reactions to, like, honestly, I will say what they really got right in this episode was like, they really got the reactions, like, this, like, what the hell is happening here? And I really felt that throughout the episode, at least in the first half of the episode, I would say. I really felt that, like, you know, their reactions to like, wow, this is actually happening. I actually saw that person bite that other person like that, and it was like, why? And then their reactions to, like, well, this person then came to life afterwards, which was really weird because I saw that person die, and just sort of the realization of all that. And not even that, like, we really saw how not skilled anyone was, right? And I compared it to the way our characters are now, and it's just such a different world now. You know, seeing the way that Daryl and everyone runs things, and the way that they try to survive in the apocalypse right now, even with the Commonwealth arc, even just during the Whisperers, or, you know what I mean? Things got so crazy. Life has changed so much that when I watched this episode, I could really see that, and I could really feel that. And honestly, it kind of made me, you know, I guess, thankful for all the years of watching the show, because it was like, yeah, you know what? Our characters have actually learned so much, and they have so many skills now, right? And it really showed when you were watching this episode. And I really liked it. I had a lot of fun with these characters. These characters were amazing. Honestly, super awesome. And the issue that I have really is the story. Like, the story definitely was something that, again, at first I had fun with. I had some fun with it because I was wondering, like, where the hell are they going with this? I thought there was going to be some sort of logical explanation here. And by the end, I still don't know what really happened, right? Because we kept seeing this constant time loop of Blair going to get gas near the supermarket, seeing Gina go in there wanting a snack, And then there was this interaction with this guy who had this truck, and then, Gina wanted the truck, and then all of a sudden they saw the walker eating that person, which caused them all to panic and go crazy. And so sometimes, Gina would get the truck and then would die afterwards, or sometimes, there would be this big explosion or whatever. There was a bunch of these different type of interactions that over time, it did get a little frustrating to watch, because I was wondering, why the hell why were we getting this? And then by the time we actually saw Atlanta, we saw that iconic road, I kept thinking, okay, so now where are we going? Like, what's happening here? And it didn't go anywhere. The characters actually survived that explosion, and then they just kind of walked off. And again, I don't, there's no explanation for anything, and that's kind of what's frustrating about it, is I really like this premise. I really like these characters. Watching it again, I really felt like these characters had no idea what to do in the apocalypse, and it was so cool to compare them to the characters that we have on The Walking Dead, right? And just the way they are now. It just, I don't know, just the weird explanation. It's just the randomness of it is something that is frustrating. And again, I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. I think what it is specifically is, these are 2 episodes that we got, and we'll start to talk about this a little bit, but these are 2 episodes that we got now where it really shows us that Tales of the Walking Dead is weird. It is very different, and I don't know if it's good different necessarily. I think after many, many seasons, and after we get some really good storylines that are actually canon and actually make sense, then I think looking back at some episodes like this, we might enjoy a little bit more. You know what I mean? But when we have to wait sort of week to week, and this is the one episode we get for now, it is kind of, it's hard, it definitely is frustrating. And it's kind of, at least one of the episodes, that's what I mean. Is this episode canon? Obviously it's not canon, but what is it? How does it fit in the story? What even is it? It's something that I just kind of have to ignore, because I don't know what it is. I really don't know what the episode is. Again, that's why for me, it's kind of mixed, honestly. I prefer episode 2 over episode 1, I think, because of the characters and the setting and how it genuinely felt like an original zombie apocalypse story in the very first half of the episode, until it eventually got kind of frustrating for me personally. And then in episode 1, I guess I did like the characters. I didn't mind the story that much. If anything, I was more watching for Terry Crews and Olivia Munn. But there's definitely pros and cons to each episode, right? And so it's kind of hard to say what Tales of the Walking Dead is. It kind of just seems to be this is just a weird show. This show is just going to tell really insane stories. And I don't know if it should get this insane sometimes, honestly. I don't know if it should get this weird. I guess I don't have an issue with it. It really is hard to wrap my brain around this. It really is. I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around, what this show is going to do, because it's kind of breaking boundaries with what it's doing in terms of storytelling. It's saying that it can tell whatever the hell it wants set in the Walking Dead universe, so there is that haunted episode. Now I'm wondering if there's actually going to be a haunting. Before I was always kind of saying well, I think she's going to think that she's seeing something, but it's actually there's going to be some sort of logical explanation, right? It was going to be an actual walker. Maybe it was so far in the future that they haven't seen walkers in a while. And so it just she kept seeing a walker around, and she was really confused by it because she didn't really, witness one ever. So now that we're 2 episodes in, I think any further episode we watch, or if we get trailers for stuff in season 2 or in 3, honestly, whenever I see stuff, I'm going to take it just literally as I see it. If there's a haunting and I see something like that, it's probably going to be a haunting. And I think in this one episode coming up, I think it's actually going to be a haunting. But I don't know if it's going to make sense. And that's the thing. Tales of the Walking Dead is going to be a really hard show to sort of pinpoint, what's canon and what's not. I think some of the episodes, like the Alpha episode and the stuff that isn't so weird like this, obviously it's very easy. It's just for episode 2, what do you say? I guess those characters are canon, the story's overall canon, but they kept reliving that moment. Were they just reliving it in their brain, but then they both kind of saw it at the same time? It's really hard to kind of say what exactly happened. I will say this episode got us talking, right? This episode definitely got us talking. And yeah, I don't know. But if I had to give an overall review, again, I don't want to give a number review because people will really if I say it's a 5 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 or whatever, you know, people are going to be like comparing that to future episodes and be like, oh, you actually like this one over that. And really how I do my reviews is mostly, do I recommend the episode, or I just give you a sort of general vibe or feeling that I had. You know, was this a fun episode to watch? Yeah, it was a fun episode to watch. I liked it for the early part of it. And then just for the second half, I don't know what happened. And I can't say whether or not I liked it. I think if you're a Walking Dead fan, definitely check this episode out. I think you might actually like the very first part, but then at the end be like, what the hell? And this way you sort of know what all of us are talking about, right? Because we're all kind of wondering, like, what the hell even happened? Like, it's messing up everyone right now. Like, everybody has a really hard time trying to connect anything. I really feel like that was sort of the design and the point of the episode. But yeah, it's definitely an episode that, again, I think if you're a Walking Dead fan, you should experience. You should experience it at least once. I don't know if you're able to watch this again, but at least once. Experience it once, I would say. But anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.